Welcome to day 20 of my 21-day challenge to living your best new year ever. This is another exciting day, and this one is going to require quite a bit of work on your part. And I'm just super excited to bring you through these easy steps to massive growth. So today we're looking at relationships. We're going a little bit deeper, and we are going to talk about boundaries. Having clear boundaries is essential to healthy living. They will affect your relationship with yourself and all your other relationships. They really change everything. Boundaries are property lines that we determine the things that we are responsible for, the things that we are not responsible for. They define who we are and who we are not. We set boundaries to respect ourselves. As we get more clear on those boundaries, those markers, those boundaries, we find our most true inner self. And this is a beautiful thing. We have different types of boundaries. These are some of them. We have physical boundaries. They determine where I will and will not go, what I will and will not touch, and who is and who is not allowed in my space. We have mental boundaries. They give us freedom to have our own thoughts and our own choices. We have emotional boundaries. They determine who we will and who we will not engage with. They help us to disengage with other people's emotions when we feel that they have crossed that boundary line. Boundaries do not make us mean, selfish, or uncaring. Some will try to tell you that when you keep your boundary up, because what we're doing is we're not doing things the way that others want us to do them. We are not responsible for other people's choices, thoughts, opinions, or their emotions, or their reactions to things. Spiritual boundaries help us distinguish between my will and God's will. Sometimes we set aside our own personal boundaries for the sake of, okay, I'm just going to care about this person. I'm going to be loving. I'm going to be selfless. And we know we're violating our own boundary. If we need to compromise or go outside of our boundary, then something unhealthy is going on in that situation. You can be a good, caring, loving person and still say no to people. And we need to realize that that is something that we have to practice and do after evaluating if you have the time, the resources, energy, all those things for this. And there are time boundaries too that we have to set up. Brene Brown writes this statement. It's so good. Daring to set boundaries is about having the courage to love ourselves even when we risk disappointing others. It happens, and it's going to happen. Toxic people especially do not like boundaries. They want to run all over you and blame you for things, and you have to really know that that's no, I'm not responsible for that. Okay, boundaries are saying what you're comfortable with, what you're okay with. They are a way of protecting yourself. They are different for everyone, and they are essential for healthy living. Boundaries are not a personal attack on someone else. They are not just a suggestion. My no is my no, right? They're not something that others can change. They're mine. They're my boundaries. You have your boundaries. They're part of us. So others cannot change them. And it's something that people, they are not something that people can disrespect. Okay? A person that will disrespect something that I say or believe or my opinion, that has no bearing on me. That just reflects what's in their heart, and that they are a disrespectful person. Okay? So people that are toxic like that are coming at you, They are just mirroring, reflecting out what's in their heart. And that stays on them. That is not a reflection on me. A good book that is really a helpful tool for boundaries is Dr. Henry Cloud and Dr. John Townsend wrote a book titled Boundaries: When to Say Yes, When to Say No, to take control of your life. They discuss healthy boundaries, and they have a portion of boundaries set aside for each one of these areas. So in today's action steps, think about these. Boundaries within your family, your friends, your spouse, your children, your work, yourself, and God. These are areas that you might want to consider. It's not a complete or a limiting list. You get to create your boundaries wherever you start, okay? But think about it with today's action steps. These are awesome. Number 1, take a real honest look at the areas of your life, home, work, all those areas, other areas mentioned. Time, I like to have time in there too. That maybe is part of work, but part of family, all of it. What are you okay with? What are you not okay with? Find your personal limits. Step 2, decide your limits. What is and what is not okay with you. Really get more clear on those. And so the point that you could write them down. This is why they're called boundaries. They are like our markers that they keep us safe, essentially. They can get complicated. They can appear super messy. As I have been working on recently, getting mine written down so that I'm clear on them. The ones that I have written down and I have spoken to people, they feel so good, and they are so they bring so much clarity and peace to the situation. The toxic people still don't like them, but they bring me peace, and if others are involved, it brings peace to the situation. But let your boundaries and writing them be easy. Just let the whole process of all these days that we're doing, just decide that it's going to be easy, it's going to flow. If you get overwhelmed, break it down into smaller pieces, okay? Little smaller steps that you can actually do. The idea is that as we get started moving in this direction, we're going to grow. If we set up a task that is so insurmountable, we won't go anywhere. So we got to break that down and move in that direction. Just get towards it. And as we get closer, often we see, oh, that wasn't a big, bad, scary thing. This is totally doable. That happens to me all the time. So now I don't have any mountains. I just start working on the steps. What can I do in that direction? And I'm okay with that. All right. Let's see. What else was I going to share with you? So yes, let them be easy, clear, and peaceful in your heart. Step 3, action step 3, begin to voice and make known your boundaries. I mean, as appropriate. It's not like you're going to get a megaphone and start declaring them to your family or anything like that, although there are times that you might. Pay attention to people's reactions to them, and that will reveal a lot about who does and who does not respect you, your opinion, your voice, and your boundaries. So be courageously you. And this is all done with kindness and love. Because that's, if you put your hand on your heart, who are you? I think you'll realize that you are love, that you're a loving being. That's who we were created to be. And that's how we're supposed to lead, with love and with service to others within our boundaries. Okay? Don't pour your whole self out unless you're asked to, but then that will feel good and it will not drain you, because it's part of who you are in your heart. So do these action steps. I am so excited for the growth that you're going to see. Please write me, send me a message, connect with me in whichever way you prefer, and comment on these posts. I would love your feedback and your testimonies of what it did for you and what you saw happening, and just those would be powerful, and I would love to share those testimonies with others if you give me permission to do that. So give me your feedback. I want to know how it's going. Same thing, any questions that you have. And I'll be sharing lots more of this on my YouTube channel that I'm getting up and running, and that's Judy Haugen. And you can follow me there for when I add new videos and new content, and also in my Facebook group, Living Fully Alive with Judy. And I'm going to be just sharing so much more and interacting with you in lives. And it's just, I'm just getting started here. And this is so incredibly exciting for me. So I look forward to seeing you tomorrow on day 21 as we wrap it up and I bring you more great content on our final day of this challenge, and then we will continue on on Facebook, on YouTube, in my website and my blog. So I'm just so excited that you're here, and I look forward to connecting with you. We'll see you tomorrow on our final day of this challenge. Bye-bye.